Hi there, I'm back at it again. This time we're going another double dash track. Well, technically, because we're taking a we're taking a dip into battle mode. We're starting with Mario Kart Double Dash's Luigi's Mansion, which also is a racetrack in DS. So that will be covered as well. So without further ado, let's start with Double Dash, which is a game where it shares music with Bowser's Castle. So yeah, I guess I can't do GCM Bowser's Castle for a while. That being like a long time. Anyway, let's begin. It's certainly ominous. I'll give it that. But there is one thing that it severely lacks. Luigi's mansioniness. Like, it's not Luigi's Mansion. It's Bowser's Castle. And if you're listening to this theme, you will think, oh, that's Bowser's Castle. But you wouldn't think, oh, yeah, I remember that. That's Luigi's Mansion. It's just not memorable as Luigi's Mansion, which is what I'm reviewing it for. Again, as an actual theme, it's pretty good as a Bowser's Castle. It's good. As any ghost track that isn't Luigi's Mansion, it's good. But because it's Luigi's Mansion and it doesn't feel like what it should be, and what it is in all future installments, I have to give it a 4 out of 10. As an actual OST, it's probably like 7 or 8 about those regions. But 4 out of 10 is kind of fair. But kind of? No, very, very fair. Very fair. I hear you saying that that is not fair because you're meant to just review it based on the OST. No, this isn't the Bowser's Castle Music Evolution. This is the Luigi's Mansion Music Evolution. So yeah, deal with it. Now we move on to Mario Kart DS. Like we do. While you can tell that this was made on the DS, it feels like Luigi's Mansion more than the last one, which is not saying much. But if you was to give me, like, pretty much any Luigi's Mansion theme, I'd recognise this as the definitive Luigi's Mansion. Because I just recognise it. It's recognisable, easy to know. It's really kind of catchy for some reason, like bam ba da 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 da. I know I'm shocking at that. Don't you dare. Like, I'm gonna give this one a solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. In fact, no, 10 out of 10. It does that good of a job at making a scene, setting a scene of Luigi's Mansion. Also, this version has portrait ghosts, which are absent from every other version. So yeah, that's another reason why it's 10 out of 10. I know we're not meant to be accounting track design, but like, it's 10 out of 10 anyway, even without portrait ghosts. I'm just going to say that. And now, let's move on to Mario Kart 7. Lucky number 7 for me because 7's cool. 7 is a very cool number. Question of the day, what's your favourite number? Okay, forgive me for saying this, but this is worse than the DS version. I know we don't sound that different, but like, the DS just feels scarier. And that's what I want from a ghost track. I want it to like properly scare the living daylights out of me. Not like jump out my skin scary. I like horrified scary. Which is exactly what the DS version does. And it's also something that this version lacks. So for that, I'm probably gonna have to listen to more. Okay, more of that. Ooh. That actually feels like there's actual ghosts jumping out of the walls, and they are screaming at you. Well, shrieking, more shrieking than screaming, which is very much like a ghost theme, so I'll give it that. And I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. It would have been 10 out of 10 if it just was scarier in the actual section, but it's not that scary in the actual section. So now we move on to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which should be the definitive version. Instantly, this is the worst version that's actually Luigi's Mansion and not just Bowser's Castle. Because it doesn't try to be scary. It doesn't try to be scary. It needs to be horrifying. It just has to be. It's Luigi's Mansion. It's probably one of the scariest tracks in the series. In fact, I would say it is the scariest behind probably Banshee Boardwalk. And that's it. Yep, that's all. But it's less scary than. And this version is not scary. The fact that it isn't scary instantly drops it down from a 10 out of 10 for what it actually is to probably a 6. But now we move on to the remix, which could very well skew the data, make me think that this version's like a 7 or 8, and that one's awful, but let's keep our hopes up. Okay? Let's keep our hopes up, and let's continue onwards to the remix. And the chosen remix is by our friend from Mushroom Bridge. Fat Cat. I know, I have to say it every single time. Sorry, I have to say it. I have to do the credits. I have to give credit where credit's due. Just the law of being a content creator. However, how good is the remix? The opening section is actually brilliant. Like, you can feel the boos jumping out the walls and like getting really close, like really trying to scare you. And When I listened to this for the first time, just now, I actually felt I actually did feel kind of scared. I know it's like music and it shouldn't scare me and all that, but like in an actual game, that would be horrifying. The fact that it's a grand piano is actually good because if you didn't know, classic trope of horror mansions, big piano. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. I know I usually give remixes 10 out of 10, but like, I actually love this. I know it usually ends with a remix being the best one, but honestly, I think this is tied with the DS version. Don't tell the creator. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. It's spooky. No, it isn't. It's not spooky. Why am I trying to be scary? Why am I trying to be a ghost? I'm very much alive, thank you. I'm the only spirits. No, I'm not going to continue with that joke, because that is not a good joke. I was going to go on to say that the only spirits that were selling are alcohol, but like, alcohol bad. Don't do alcohol. Alcohol is a very, very bad thing. Alcohol bad. That's the message of the video. Alcohol bad. Anyway, without further ado, let's swiftly depart from the video, and I will see you later. I feel like I'm forgetting something.